Got a 170 kilo stripey. That day was just a really good day fishing. Didn't have too much luck on the lures. We decided to put out a livebait. Then we came tight on the stripey and I took the rod. First we thought it was a blue.
If you're going to an area you haven't fished before and you want to do a straight line session, what do you typically look for?
Lots of good fish in shallow, but also the current's quite important. A lot of spots close to the rocks and stuff may not have any current.
How long would you sit? Because it's like, do we move or do we stay?
Just the time, you know. If it's about half an hour or so and you're not really getting anything, I'd maybe look at moving. The number one thing is not hosing the reels down with pressure. You put the hose to it, it's just pushing all that salt into the reels.
In this episode of Get the Net, I chat with Nick Patrick, the owner of Shoreworx and a bloke who spent 20 years working in the fishing industry here in New Zealand. We have a wide variety of discussions, including good gear, bad gear, and crap gear. Nick's got great insight in how to look after your expensive fishing gear, as well as the do's and don'ts when it comes to buying and selecting your rods and reels. We talk about marlin, we talk about kingfish, we even talk in depth about straylining for snapper. So if you're into your bait fishing, this one's for you. Enjoy the show. Get the net, tight lines, loose lips. Welcome to Get the Net, the Kiwi fishing podcast where the yarns are as wild as the waters we fish. Hosted by Nick, a self-confessed, multiple-time member of the Caught Bugger All Fishing Club. This show dives into the epic stories, top tactics, and must-have gear from New Zealand's best fishos. Each episode, we chat with legendary anglers about their most insane catches, the techniques they swear by, and the gear they can't live without. Whether you're chasing marlin offshore, flicking soft baits in the shallows, or just keen to learn from the pros, this is the place for real fishing talk. No gatekeeping, just good banter, expert tips, and the odd fishing fail. So grab a cold one, get the net, and let's talk fishing.
Yeah, boy, we got a marlin on!
My name's Nick Patrick. I'm the owner-operator of Shoreworx, which is a reel and rod repair business on Auckland's North Shore. Prior to that, I was the service manager for Shimano, and I was with them for 11 years in a bunch of different roles. Worked in retail, in the fishing industry, and I was a sales rep for a company called Conahans for 5 years, who were a fishing tackle wholesaler. So all up, it's about 20 years in the industry roughly.
Yeah, wicked, mate, wicked. And so, yeah, I think you started Shoreworx, what, 3 years now?
It was just over 2 years.
Just over 2 years.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, had enough of corporate life and
Yeah.
wanted to go out on your own. And it's gone pretty well for you, hey? You've grown and...
Yeah, it's going well. I started in May 2023. I was a bit dubious about going into winter, you know?
Yeah.
Like the timing of it all. I guess being a new business and going out on my own and doing a bit of marketing and stuff, I was busy as soon as I hit the...
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I just saw your stuff pop up on Instagram and straight away I was like, sweet, there's a place, you know?
Yeah, so there's not many people doing what I do. So I saw a bit of a gap in the market. It's a pretty niche thing.
And so it's reel repairs, rod repairs,
Yeah.
and servicing for reels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess probably a lot of people don't really realise that there is actually quite a bit of maintenance that needs to go on with reels. So
there is.
typically, like, what are you seeing out there, mate, you know?
I guess in general, Kiwis are pretty rough, you know?
Hard on the gear, right?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is the lack of maintenance and just the way people look after their gear in general, you know, and the cleaning of their gear. People, yeah, you know, they spend a lot of money on these boats
And nice reels and rods.
and the reels, but they just don't look after it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm in business.
Well, it's a good thing for you. So, but you personally, obviously, you know, some pretty crazy photos behind you there and all that. Like, also a mad keen fisherman.
Yep.
What got you started? What was your first memory of fishing?
When I was, I don't know how old, maybe, 3-4 years old, going out with my grandparents and just really having a love for just the water in general, being out on the water. And then from there, my uncle was the sales manager for Composite Developments.
Okay.
So, who do a Kuma now.
Yep.
He was mad keen, and I kind of went from, just a weekend away with the grandparents to, you know, seeing what my uncle was doing, and it kind of just escalated. You know, he always had the best gear.
Yeah.
So I was always using what he had, and kind of leveled up a bit.
Yeah, and you've had some pretty crazy catches. You know, blue marlin, huge hogs of kingfishers, and you know, everything in between. Is there any catch that really stands out that really you remember? That was the one. You know.
I would say got a 170 kilo stripey.
Wow.
That day was just a really good day fishing, up at Tutukaka.
Yeah.
So we started off, went to North Reef for some kingies, and it was red hot fishing on the jigs. Every fish, I mean, they weren't massive, they were only like 10 to 15 kilo.
Scrappy little buggers at that size though.
But as many as you wanted. So we did that in the morning, went out for a troll. Didn't have too much luck on the lures. We decided to put out a livey in this area where, you know, there was some good currents.
Looked pretty fishy, yeah.
Then we came tight on the stripey, and I took the rod. First we thought it was a blue. You know, once we got back, it was a stripey. But also on the way back, we had another jig for kingies, and every fish was like 15 to 25 kilos in the afternoon, you know. So it was just the whole day.
Mate, what a day.
Yeah.
What an absolute day.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember coming in here one time, you showed me a photo of a kingy. I'm not sure if it's up on that board anymore, but it was pushing 30 kegs.
There's a fish that me and my uncle got at Little Barrier, which was 39 kilos.
Wow.
It was only in maybe 10 metres of water. That was pretty memorable,
Yeah.
especially for him, because, you know, he got me into fishing. So, you know, this was all my idea and my spot, I guess.
Yeah.
So to put him onto his PB.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a huge fish.
Yeah, so that was also...
And so talk us through, it was live bait, or what was the...
That was a livey, yep. Plan was to go hit Little Barrier, fill up the live bait tank. We really struggled to get liveys.
The old T-point liveys, eh?
Yeah, yeah, so we got a handful of Jack Max, and then we got one Kiwi, and that was about it. And my uncle, he looked on his phone, and I think there was, you know, Ocean Angler was doing some report about workups off Tiri or something, and he was keen to do that because
Guaranteed feed, right?
He wasn't very hopeful, I guess. So I was like, no, we'll stick to the plan. And then we got over there and put two liveys out. The first one got bit, which I grabbed, and it was probably only a 12 kilo kingy. So, but he was like, okay, well, there are kingies
Yeah, let's go, yeah.
And then I said, oh, you're up next, you know, and then he got that one.
Yeah. How long was he on it for?
Oh, maybe half an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of, like, it shot into shallower water.
Yeah, trying to get around the rocks or something.
Yeah, so we went out to deeper water, and luckily it followed us out, you know, and then it was just a tug of war, like battle, yeah.
It's wicked, man. It's wicked, yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely one in the memory bank.
There's really something about sticking to a plan, during the day.
I think so. With any type of fishing, I guess if you go out there, and a lot of the time, like, you know, maybe you're lure fishing or something, the guys who take bait as a backup, it's like, well, you're not really committed to that one style, I guess. So
yeah, that topic's come up quite a few times in these chats. Hey, you can't have a parachute. Like, you know, you've got to, you know, if you're going to go top water, you got to go and do your top water. You got to commit, right?
1,000 casts.
100%.
And not give up and put in the time, you know, put in the effort.
Definitely one of those things that I've experienced too, where if I take too much gear, some of these and some of that, then you end up chopping and changing and tying lures all day rather than actually just presenting your bait in front of the fish.
Yeah. And that was a big thing with soft baiting, you know.
Yeah.
When soft baiting became quite big, a lot of the older guys would just take bait as a backup, and they'd always go back to bait, you know. They wouldn't have much joy.
The patience or the...
Patience, you know, give it half an hour, and then putting the anchor down and putting on some dirty
That
bait,
goes the burley, yeah.
you know. But you really just got to stick to it and you get the result.
And you've had some pretty decent snaps up there on the wall. Soft baits on them, or what's been...
Yeah, like I do all types of fishing. I grew up obviously with bait,
I think we all did, right?
Lures weren't really a thing. Old school jigs were always in my tackle box, but I didn't really know what to do with them, and I don't really close off any options with fishing, like to cover all bases. But growing up on bait, like I still like a dirty old Strayline.
It's good fun, right?
Yeah, I think there's like
Change of light.
Yeah, I think there is a bit of skill involved, you know, and it's not just like bait presentation or things.
Well,
like that.
when the fish is eating it, when to wind up, you know.
Yeah, there's
when to
timing,
put the hurt on and when not to.
There's also anchoring's a really big thing, you know, getting the boat position right. I've seen it many times, you know. You could come over some nice sign and then go up ahead of that sign and, you know, position the boat. I see people just well off the mark, you know.
Yeah, the current's not going to run there, or well, same also with the soft baiting. You know, you've got to make sure that when you a lot of guys, you know, don't realise that actually there's a lot of value in just doing a dummy drift.
Yeah.
Before you start casting, just to see which way you're going to drift and get an idea of what is it the wind or the current, and then you'll get an idea of where the fish are holding, right?
Correct.
Is there a particular style that you really that's the one? Is it game fishing or is it?
It's a hard one because I like it all, you know, from stabbing flounder to marlin, you know, so everything in between. But I'd say like my roots are straylining. I do like rock fishing.
Yep.
You know, I like winter land based. But then I really like lure fishing. You know, I like casting lures. I like soft baiting. I like game fishing.
Just do it all, eh? Just do it all.
But you know, when it comes to game fishing, I'm not just stuck on trolling lures. I like to live bait and switch up stuff. You know.
Yep. With the stray lining, because obviously it is there's a lot to it. What would you say the 3 key most important factors for someone who wants to get into having some success with it? You caught bugger all out there, but you love fishing yarns just like us. Flick us a follow. We're only just getting started with this thing.
Well, number one's wind with tide. So if you haven't got those two lined up, it makes it really difficult. So you know, I was taught that early on when I was quite young, you know, and it really changed everything, like the success rate. And it still surprises me, like how many people don't know that.
Something quite simple, really.
So having the wind and the tide in the same direction, you're just going to increase your chances of catching fish. Wind and tide, bait presentation, and then...
So talk us through the bait presentation, how you would...
I guess not burying your hooks in the bait, you know.
So you like the hook out, protruding out,
having your hooks exposed.
It's a bit different to surf casting where you kind of want to wrap it right in, right?
Yeah, well, yes and no. You know, a lot of the rigs and stuff I see now of people surf casting, the hooks exposed. They're using that bait cotton and stuff like that. Having your hooks presented correctly, and you know, the right size hooks. Yeah,
and do you do like a 2-hook rig with a different size, or both the same, or what's your...
Yeah, I'll start off with 2 hooks, and if I'm getting too many snags, I'll go down to 1 hook. And that's the same, like I prefer J hooks.
Yep.
But if it's really foul territory, I'll go to circle.
Yeah. And what size would you start out with?
I like big hooks, so 7 burrow and above. I wouldn't go any smaller. Some people have smaller, like keeper hooks and stuff, but I just go big.
Yeah, big is best. So talk me through your go-to bait.
Well, fresh is best.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always maybe take a bag of pulleys, but I'm really wanting carwai.
Fresh carwai, you
Fresh carwai,
catch them on a spinner.
Max, anything in the burley, really.
Burley's a big piece with straylining. And there's an old guy I used to go fishing with quite a bit, and his mentality is you've got to invest. How does that show up for you using the burley?
I guess burley, the one negative is it attracts all fish.
Toothy critters.
Yeah, so, you know, you could have just lots of undersized fish, you know, so that's where the big baits come in. Burley's important if maybe there's not a lot of sign, you know, but you know there's fish.
Structure, there's a, yeah.
But then I've had some really good days without burley, you know, because the fish are there. And if you've got 2 or 3 or 4 you're fishing,
yeah, you've got enough,
there's enough stuff
out.
So kind of Yeah, some days I'll take burley, some days I don't. I definitely use burley off the rocks.
Yep.
So yeah, it kind of depends.
So talk me through, if you're going to an area you haven't fished before and you want to do a straight line session, what do you typically look for from, you know, if you're looking at your charts or if you're looking around outside, what are the signs that go, yeah, that's the spot I want to put the pick down?
Structure.
Yep.
Looking at charts, I'll look at contours, where the drop-offs are.
Any preferred depth that you want to fish in?
Not really. No, I don't think depth really matters too much. Lots of good fish in shallow, but also the current's quite important. So you'll find a lot of a lot of spots close to the rocks and stuff may not have any current.
Be a back eddy or something like that.
Yeah, so that it just makes the fishing a bit tougher. So current and structure.
And like, let's say you pick a spot, how long would you sit if you know, because it's like, do we move or do we stay? What contributes to those decisions?
Just the time, if it's about half an hour or so and you're not really getting anything, I'd maybe look at moving.
Yeah.
But a good session, you'll get hit straight away, usually.
If there's fish in the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like a sunset sort of, bite time from, I don't know, 6 till 7 p.m. or something like that, and it's
Change
just,
of light.
yeah, it can be pretty special every time you put a bait down. With your expertise in rods and reels, talk us through a good setup for someone who's straylining.
I guess rod, I prefer a graphite rod as opposed to a glass rod.
So a bit stronger, but firmer.
Just a lot more sensitive. A glass rod tends to fold away quite a lot. So I like something a bit stiffer.
Yeah. What sort of length?
About 7 foot.
7 foot. Okay, so not a hugely long, not like a soft baiting rod where you're up around 8.
I mean, casting's really important in a lot of strayline areas. So about 7 foot will get you
plenty of distance.
Maybe half a pulley with no sinker. You should still be able to cast it
20-30 metres,
yeah.
What sort of like weight rating on the rod?
Generally 6 to 10 kilo.
Yeah. So a bit of weight there, a bit of grunt.
Yep.
Talk us through the reel. Overhead or spinner?
I prefer overheads from the boat, but then I'll use a bait runner off the rock. Off the boat, you're looking for something that has a good free spool. But first of all, you've got to decide whether you want a star drag or a lever drag.
Yep.
The benefit of a lever drag is you can preset your
So you can have it soft, and then when you know your bait, you can...
Well, say you've got 10 kilo line, you can set your strike at, I don't know, 8 kilos or something, for example. That way if you go any further than that, you're really pushing that line to the limit. A lot of guys fishing tournaments or fishing IGFA will use lever drags.
Yep.
Purely because of that, they want to know exactly where their drag's set for their breaking strength.
Yeah, so they can mark it on the...
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not too fast, At the moment I'm using a star drag, but my top 2 reels would be a Daiwa SL. So any of the SL 20, 30.
Yep.
There's a 50.
50 as well, yeah.
Or the Shimano Toriums.
Yeah, okay.
That's pretty much my go-to. And then in lever drag, Shimano, so your TLDs, your Telecas.
Yeah.
And then I'm not 100% sure on the Daiwas, to be honest, but Saltigas.
Yep. Anything that's at the better spec, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, you've got to have good gear. I mean, that's really important.
What sort of line typically would you fish? Mono, braid?
I fish mono.
Yeah.
Like having a little bit of give, but also like around the structure and weed and stuff like that. The abrasion's a lot better than braid.
So if you get around the weeds, you can...
Yeah, weeds, I mean, braid probably cuts through weed pretty well, but it's the rocks,
Yeah.
Braid doesn't like the rocks, so...
Fish goes around something.
Yeah, ping. So I prefer mono.
Yeah. And same sort of thing, like that sort of 6 to 10 kilo again, so what's that, 20 pounds, I think?
I mean, for me, the only time I'll use braid is for lures.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't see a point in using it for any other fishing, really.
Yeah, okay, interesting, cool. Do you pre-make a trace, and do you use like fluoro on that, or are you just happy just to straight on the?
No, I just make them, usually like when I've owned a boat or whatever, I'll just get the boat sorted and I'll let people, get their own stuff ready, and I'll just see how fast they're getting down, look at what weight they're using sinker wise, and then I'll go, oh yeah, well he's obviously dropping down pretty quickly. I want my
go a bit lighter than that.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I do, and I'll start with 2 hooks.
So swivel, 2 hooks, maybe a small ball sinker to start with.
Yeah, just a sliding.
Yep.
1/4 ounce sinker.
Yeah. Nice.
And 2 hooks. It's pretty basic.
There we go.
But I don't think you can beat a really good straight line session. When you fish of good size and everything lines up, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, there's a lot in there for me I probably the last 2 or 3 years really just almost exclusively fish lures.
Yeah.
But prior to that, we did a lot of straylining, and it ticks up that the days that we've had success have had those things, like you say, the wind and the tide, the current, and good fresh baits have definitely gone better on those days. So it's really, really good. You've spent a bit of time out wide pulling plastics.
Yep. I've put in some hours. Yep.
You got to put in the hours to get the results, don't you? This episode of Get the Net is brought to you by absolutely no one. But if you're a brand out there and you like what we're doing, you're keen to see us keep it rolling, slide to the DMs. We're keen to chat with good buggers like yourself that just love fishing. From a gear perspective, again, it's wide open. There's so many options now. Just put your professional cap on. From a real serviceman technician, talk us through the good, the bad, and the ugly.
With game fishing?
Game fishing and that sort of those big...
I guess this day and age, a lot of the reels have come a long way.
Yeah.
And everything's kind of got smaller, more compact. The technology's just far better. So as far as game fishing reels, I don't think you can beat a Shimano Tiagra.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest.
And that's what all the big boats are running, right?
Yeah, and they must have counted for so many records over the years. They're just a workhorse and reliable, and the parts are easy to get. Then you got pen reels, so yeah, they're good. I mean, they're all good in their own way. I just personally think the Tiagra's
is the
above the
gold
rest.
standard, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's lots of different rods to match them with, so that just comes down to what the blank's made of, or the componentry.
And the budget that the skipper or the angler's got, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've serviced really old school pens, like the old Senators and stuff for people through Shoreworx, and a week later they'll message me and send me a photo and they've caught a marlin on it, so you can catch marlin on anything really, but it's just having good, reliable gear.
What about now with all this, Temu and all this kind of carry on? Have you seen any of that through here? And 'cause there are some guys that swear by it and other guys that wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't touch it, to be honest. Stick to what you know. Stick to the good brands. I mean, they've been doing it a long time.
Have you had one on the bench, or one of those cheap ones?
Yeah, I have, and they're rubbish.
So talk us through it. Are they, is it, if you've got a good reel versus that one, what are some of the key differences?
I guess the main thing is there's no backup support really. You can't get the parts for them.
Right.
I mean, you might be able to, but you'd probably have to find out which factory they came from, really know what you're looking at on the parts diagram, and hope that you get that right part, but you're going to have to wait. Whereas all the major brands that are represented in New Zealand,
they got a part number and it's a schematic.
Well, I can get them down the road, 5-minute drive, and it just keeps all those ticking over and my customers happy, so I just stay away from any unknown brands. You don't really know what you're buying.
Yeah. And so it might work for a bit, but chances are it's going to end up in the round file. And
yeah, well, you don't know what parts are stainless steel or what,
Yeah.
So they're probably going to be more prone to corrosion. So I just kind of turn them away.
Yeah.
So if you're buying those cheaper reels, good luck finding someone who will service them.
Fair enough too, yeah.
You might have to do it yourself. It's a mission.
Or it's rubbish, right? It's just bin material and start again.
I mean, for someone who's just starting out or is not that serious about fishing, then, you know, it's just a fishing reel to them.
Yeah,
It's probably going to do the job, but if you're taking things seriously, then my advice is just buy the best you can.
Same goes for those electric reels too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So the main players are Shimano and Daiwa. They're both good reels. There's some other brands out there which have been around a while, but I don't.
You don't really see them here very much either, do you?
No, I get the odd phone call, but I don't touch them, you know, because I don't know where to get the parts from. And the problem is if I'm going into a reel that maybe was purchased overseas.
Because a lot of people do that, right? They say, oh, I can get the same thing from Japan, but it's 20-30% cheaper.
Well, Shimano and Daiwa won't touch them, their service department.
Okay.
Unless you got proof of purchase, and they were purchased in New Zealand. That's not to say I haven't done.
Yeah, people will still buy them, right? And they can still come to someone like you.
Yeah, but the only problem is if it's not a New Zealand model, if I go into it and something's seized and I break it, then it falls on me.
So is there differences in the Japanese market versus our stuff in terms of if let's say, I don't know, two identical Shimano reels, but one's Japanese and one's the New Zealand market? Is there differences within that, or are they the same?
JDM stuff, that's Japanese domestic market. I guess they're just designed exclusively for their market. No, I mean, we still get Japanese made reels in New Zealand, but they're just not a JDM reel.
Right, so there's no specific differences as such, but it's more just that you're not going to get that support. Yeah.
But the thing with Shimano and Daiwa, a lot of the parts cross over.
Okay.
From different models. So yeah, it's pretty easy, you know. I was calling on all these shops from Auckland to Wellington, and back then it almost seemed like every kind of third or fourth shop had someone out the back fixing rods or repairing reels. You know?
Right.
Which today is you don't really see anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's just big retailers, the big box retailers that are just.
Yeah, I mean, there's a handful of people doing it, but it's just not what it used to be. Hence why I'm doing it now. But
what do you think's driven that? Is it considered like, you know, people just buy and throw away, or?
I actually don't know, but maybe the shops didn't see that much value in it, or it was taking their staff away from selling product.
Yeah.
A lot of these owners would rather, you know.
Yeah, just sell a new box, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a bit of that. I don't think many people have the skill set now, you know. No one's really come up through, you know, the rankings, I guess.
So I guess there's like all that talent of repairing that, those repair agents that you used to see around there, sort of gone from the space now, I guess.
Yeah. As far as like independent reel servicing and rod repairs, it's just, there's hardly anyone doing it, you know.
Like it must have been a bit of a learning curve.
I'll go back to when I was repping. So I would just go out the back of these shops, and because I was selling Fuji, which is the guides on your rod, you know.
Yep.
I was selling the components.
You spend a lot of time talking to those guys.
Yeah, so I would show interest in what they were doing, and I'd like watching guys repair rods and put reels together and stuff. So that's kind of where it started.
Yeah.
And then obviously with my own gear, I kind of got stuck into those. I kind of started doing mates reels.
Okay.
I used to spend a bit of time up at Hunt's Sport Store on the shore.
Oh, yeah, old Hunt, yeah. North Shore Institution.
Yeah, so
back in the day, wasn't it?
It was. So I'd always spend time with him, just really interested in what he was doing with the reels and asking him questions and learning from him, you know.
He sold me my first kingfish jigging set about a decade ago. Yep. Heck of a nice guy.
Yeah, he was. And from there, when I ended up at Shimano, I was the customer service manager there, and that was going into winter when I started. And I was pretty bored, to be honest. Like, there wasn't much work happening. So I would just walk over to the service department and help the boys there.
Yeah.
And I remember I just started on the Shimano bait runners. I just really wanted to know everything about those reels, so that's all I touched for.
They're a really good bit of kit, so.
Yeah, so I became a whiz at those, and then I kind of just went into everything else. But I still had my other job in the office.
Just doing extras there.
I was just going in between the two, and kind of learned how to service all the Shimano reels and my own personal gear. I got offered the service manager's role because the department wasn't in the greatest shape, and they needed someone to turn it around, which I did, and then I was kind of doing far more servicing then.
And touching all different models and...
Yeah, so, and then, training guys up. And
Had a shocker out there lately? No bites, taggled lines, maybe you had to tie someone back in? Welcome to the Caught Bugger All Fishing Club. We've teamed up with Globite to turn your worst day into a win. All you gotta do is send us a quick selfie video or voice note. Keep it under 2 minutes about your best caught bugger all yarn. Each month, we're gonna feature you on the show and we're gonna hook up one unlucky legend with a Globite lure and a cap just for catching nothing. Because even when the bin's empty, the yarn's still good. Yeah, I think the quality of the stuff that's coming out now, it does mean it lasts longer. But there is this component that you've got to look after it. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe it's a good segue to talk about, like you said before, Kiwis are pretty hard on the gear. What is the, if I go out and spend $1,500 and get a nice, Delica setup, what should I be doing with it?
Treat it like it's your baby. No, I think the most important thing is keeping it dry. So not
pretty hard on a jet ski, mate.
No, exactly. Well, jet skis are the worst. Followed by kayak fishermen. Mm-hmm. Anything that's sort of low to the water. But in boats, it's trying to keep your rod and reels out of the gunnels.
So put them up the top when you...
Put them in your rocket launcher, or put them up in your cabin when you're travelling. Because I see it all the time when I'm out, and I might have mates' gear in the gunnels, but you're cruising along and you hear it. You hear the water hitting their reels, and it's going to do some damage,
Since getting to know you, I've been a lot more fastidious with my gear. In fact, now when I'm on my jet ski, I don't actually take the rod out of the trunk sort of thing, out the boat, until I get to where I'm fishing, and then I rig up.
Yep.
Which is a little bit more of a faff, but at least I know that...
Your gear's all good.
Yeah, and then same when I finish for the day, cut the last lure off, wind it up, throw it in the thing, and then I'm just taking the rods, in the rod holders. And so what about, when we get home? That's the next kind of step, next phase.
Yeah, the number one thing is not hosing your reels down with pressure. So what that does is you spend the whole day on the water, maybe your reel's covered in those salt crystals, especially in summer. You put the hose to it, it's just pushing all that salt into the reels. So,
it dissolves, right?
Yeah, so there's a way I tell people to clean their gear, which we can talk about.
Yeah.
I guess, after a big day, maybe you got all your mates' gear, 16.
10 rods lined up along the fence.
Yeah, so that's fine. Do all your drags up. You can put pressure on the rods. You want to hose your guides down.
Yep.
When you get to your reels, if you are going to hose them, just use like the finest mist possible. That's just to loosen.
Dissolve the salt sort of thing.
Yeah, just loosen all that external salt, and then give them a wipe down. I sell Corrosion X product, so even better is loosening that salt, undoing your drag, and then putting some Corrosion X on a rag and just give them a wipe.
Wipe the whole body.
Yeah, so you do that, and then I also sell Real X oil, which is Corrosion X product as well.
Yep.
And there's certain, I could probably show you.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a little piece at the end.
Yeah. But there's certain places to put that.
And then so I've washed my reel, or my rod and reel. Where do I store it? How do I,
So don't store it somewhere where it's damp, or so a dry area, maybe not outdoors, because it's always going to have moisture.
Yeah.
People who've got really good gear, like some people I know, will have a rod rack in their bedroom.
I don't think I get that one past the missus.
No, well, they don't have a missus. So. But just looking after it is so important, and getting longevity out of your gear.
And so you've cranked the drag up. How long do you leave it cranked up for?
Just for that
Just while you're hosing
Yeah.
it, and then afterwards back it off.
Yeah. The problem is if you keep your drags done up tight, then it compresses the washers.
Yeah. So over time, your drag will be less
Yeah.
grunty.
Yeah. So you just, it's only for that initial clean, you know.
So my procedure's been sort of similar. I always fill the sink with soapy water, throw all my lures and knives and all that kind of guff in there, and then I just hold the reel and just get a dish brush and just sort of
Yep.
like that, and then it goes straight onto the, I just put it on a towel sort of thing. Obviously because I'm separating my stuff each time. But yeah, sometimes I definitely do forget to either tighten it up or untighten the drag, so maybe I can be a bit more fastidious with that. Tell me a little bit about rods.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously repair rods, you see a lot of stuff. What's the good, bad and the ugly again?
Repairing rods, it's obviously the guides I'm doing. I'm replacing guides on rods.
Yep.
So it's either they've taken a knock or they're older rods, so the epoxies
Come undone.
coming undone, the binding's unraveling, and
Yeah, I found the little piece
Inserts?
itself, that can go missing. Especially on a ski.
good componentry is something to look for when you're buying a rod. So I only replace guides with Fuji guides.
Yep.
So they're made in China now, but they're a Japanese company.
Japanese spec and everything,
So,
right?
Using the best components, you'll find a lot of the Chinese guides either rust or
Sharp.
yeah, they're just. I mean, back in the day, actually, you could tell a cheap guide from a Fuji. The Fujis had like a perfect round edge to them, and the cheap guides had a flat edge to
Quite
them.
obvious when you look at it, yeah.
Yeah, so
And for someone who's like selecting a rod, what are the key things that you, would suggest? And I guess how long's a piece of string in terms of budget?
yeah.
So that's kind of a thing. But what are the key sort of things that you would look for?
Componentry and then the action of the rod. So, but that all comes down to like what style of fishing.
Yeah. Like a topwater set's very, very different to a jigging set, to
Correct.
a game set. So
A jigging rod, you want something that's parabolic, that folds away.
yeah.
And a soft bait rod, you don't want that because you're going to find it's harder to
Got no power,
set the
yeah.
hook. So depends on the style of fishing, but what the blank's made of and the components, that's pretty much it. So
Yeah.
you want good components, and you want the right blank for whatever you're doing.
Is there much like, we talked a little bit about the cheap Chinese, reels before. Is there much in that, lower end that you see that has a whole host of problems?
With reels,
In terms of rods.
not really.
I guess it's a bit harder because it doesn't get shipped as easily, right?
Yeah, so a cheaper rod generally won't have as much carbon in it, to keep the cost down, and the components will be cheap as well. So, when you're buying a good rod, there's going to be generally a good quality carbon in the rod.
And so how does the carbon affect the way the rod fishes, the way it feels? What's the...
So that can vary, but a lot more lifting power and sensitivity and stuff like that. A cheap old school glass rod is going to be physically heavy. It's probably going to have a pretty horrible action and next to no sensitivity.
So you're not going to feel the bite, you're not going to know when you're loading it up too much. And heaven forbid you get a bit high sticky on it.
Yeah. Well, no, the cheaper rods probably hold up better.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's not like the more you spend on a rod, the stronger it is, or the less likely it's going to break due to point loading. I remember when soft baiting got big, with those Berkeley gulps came out, and that really took off. I was working for Pure Fishing, who do Abu, and we had a whole bunch of these Abu Veritas rods. That came back broken, like high sticked, It was no fault of the rod. It was just a new style of fishing for a lot of people, and they were high sticking, and they weren't a really expensive rod, but they weren't a cheap rod.
Yeah.
But it probably put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths because
They blame the brand, they blame the...
yeah, where it wasn't that, it was just purely high sticking a graphite rod,
And for like, let's just make it real simple for those that don't understand the term high sticking.
So high sticking's when you're lifting your rod above that 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
So anything above that's kind of like a danger zone. When you're fishing, you shouldn't need to lift your rod higher than that. You're gonna get as much leverage as you need.
With the leverage is down the bottom, right?
Yeah,
That's
correct. So you don't need to lift your rod that high. Do everything within that 45 degrees. You could have the highest modulus graphite rod and you'll never break it if you fish correctly, you know.
But the minute you start going above that 45 degrees, when you start
putting all the load on the top quarter, I guess, you know.
And that's the risk to your fancy gear.
Yeah, so, I mean, I could grab a rod right now and hold it above 45 degrees and pull the tip down and it'll snap pretty easily. But if you hold it at 45, you could pull it down.
To the floor just about.
Yeah, and no worries, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just using the rod how you should. And
yeah, I feel for some of those charter skippers that get, you know, new blokes out there, they've never done it before. And
yeah, well, that's why a lot of them will just stick to glass rods.
If you're enjoying the episode but want a bit more, we've got a bonus bit for you. You just need to head over to our YouTube channel where you'll find it exclusively. Thanks for listening.
And a lot of them just won't lure fish, you know.
Yeah.
It's too much hassles, too many tangles with braid, and they'll stick to the old trusty glass rods and reels that, you know, might have 1 or 2 bearings.
Yep.
Not like 10 bearings.
Yeah, not like the high-end stuff, yeah.
No.
No, that's really good. It's really, and because I mean, there's so much in rods in terms of, you know, like you say, style of fishing, but then, crikey, you can get like an entry-level soft bait rod probably for $99, and you can get a high-end one for $1,200 or more. Yeah. So it's very, you know, where do you start and all the rest of it. That's a.
So I would just say, you know, if you're into fishing or just getting into it, spend as much as you can, you know, get quality because it's going to last. And this is another thing. I remember when the soft baiting took off, people would buy a cheap soft bait reel, and then they'd find, you know, hey, this is awesome, and then not long after that they'd buy a decent reel. It's like, you might as well just
done it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I suppose also if it's not for you, you can always sell it, and it's
true.
You know, if it's good stuff, it's more likely to get. I mean, I see on the marketplace all the time, you know, good gear up for sale. So it certainly does seem to hold its value better.
Yeah, if it's looked after.
And like, hey, so you know, if someone is looking at buying something on the marketplace or whatever, is there things that they should look out for? Both rod and reel?
So with the reel, I would just be checking to see when it was last serviced. You could have a reel that's 3 years old but never serviced, so you don't really know what you're buying. You don't know what the inside looks like. So that's, you know, it's a bit dodgy, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of the photos that you post, and it's pretty wild what.
Yeah.
You know, the reel itself actually looks pretty tidy, and then you take those covers off and it's just like...
Yeah. So just be mindful of that. I mean, it might be quite hard to...
Well, pulling the drag, is there anything you can do like that to...
Not really. I mean, you really need to get the side cover off.
Yeah.
You really need to go into the reel. I mean, I can do that for people, but... are people really going to let you?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if they know they're selling a lemon, you know. So, you know, my advice would be to buy new.
Yep.
But if you are buying second hand, you can generally feel how a reel, you know, the condition of it by turning the handle. If it's nice and smooth, then chances are it's probably all right. I mean, you can also have a reel that externally has some corrosion, but the inside's a mint.
Yeah.
You know, so...
Yeah, so it is a bit of a...
You just don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Could
have been owned by a jet ski owner, mate, yeah?
Yeah. Exactly.
And what about a rod? Because, I mean...
Second-hand rod?
Yeah, how do you know what's what?
Rods are pretty bulletproof, you know. If it's still in one piece, that's a great start. But if the components are good...
Yep.
There's no rust, all the eyes are in position, you know.
Should be pretty.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
So So
Okay.
that's probably a safe thing to buy secondhand. Reels, you just don't know.
Hey, one of the things I like to ask everyone when they come on is, because it's great getting out catching fish, and it's obviously one of New Zealand's biggest pastimes. But part of it is you go fishing, you catch a feed. How do you like to enjoy your fish?
To eat?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the species. I like.
What's your
raw fish.
favourite?
I love raw fish. So, tuna, kingfish, ceviche. I prefer that over the old coconut milk.
Okay, so you just do like a lemon and...
Yeah, lime.
Yep.
Kind of like the Mexican style, with the... What do they do with the corn chips?
Tomato and...
Well, it's like a
salsa.
It's a
almost,
raw
but,
fish
yeah.
without all the coconut milk. I kind of feel that takes away from the fish.
Yep.
You just taste coconut. So, yeah, coriander, fresh chili, lime.
Yeah.
Kind of simple, but really good.
Yeah.
And then when I'm cooking fish, we do a lot of fish tacos at home.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, they're
so
a favourite of ours.
My partner has travelled a lot, so she's kind of, I guess back in the day I would have just got a wrap.
Yep, slab of fish and some mayo.
I like lettuce, tomato, cheese or something. But these days it's like a seasoned pieces of fish, I guess. Yeah, the same thing. Onion, coriander, chili, a green like jalapeno sauce or something. And toasted, toasted wraps.
Sounds very similar to the way we like our fish tacos. Yeah.
So
they make the fish simple, but the stuff that goes with it really delicate
and fresh.
Yeah.
So I love seafood in general. I eat it all.
Like, we're super blessed here in New Zealand. The access that we've got to such a good fishery, we're really pretty unrestricted with what we can take.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anywhere else in the world where, I was talking to another mate the other week, and where he's from, we can only take 2 fish a day.
Yeah, we're very lucky. You can go to pretty much any local beach and catch a snapper,
Yeah.
There's not many places you can do that. So.
Yeah, I think we're really, really blessed here in New Zealand with what we've got, and it's on us fishermen to do the right thing to preserve it for future generations, all that kind of thing. For me, it's like, if you're going to take something to the ocean, make sure you utilise it all. Hey.
Yeah.
It's like smoking fish is just such a good way, and especially once you've filleted the thing, you can smoke the frames and the head, and it's all that good meat that you can do stuff with.
Yeah. I've been known to take my limit.
Yep.
Definitely, but I give it to, family.
Yep.
So.
You're busy with your business. It's we were just talking before, you're hanging to get out for a fish, but you got work to do.
Yeah.
There's a limit in place, and you just got to respect that. I think is the key piece, isn't it?
Yeah. It's all good taking the odd big fish, but don't go out there just to, throw trophies in your bin. And they all breed.
Yeah.
The bigger ones obviously have more
eggs, more sperm, right?
Eggs, so, put them back.
We'll jump up from here and we'll do that little piece on care for the reels. I think that's probably pretty good, eh?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, beautiful.
Hey, if you enjoyed that one, we'd really appreciate it if you give us a like or a subscribe. It really helps us to keep things going. We've got some awesome chats on the way, and if you've got a really good yarn about your caught bugger all experience out on the water, we want to hear it. Get in touch.